Welcome back to Kick Odds episode 13. Brought to you by Dairies. Had a bit of a technical disruption there, but Fags, thanks for coming on, mate.
No, I think it's a pleasure to be here. We'll wait and see. I'll tell you at the end whether it was any good or not.
Have you listened to any of it or not? Any of the potty? Have you listened to any of it or not?
Ursula's made me listen to little bits and pieces of it, just in preparation.
Good. You're not telling porcupines there, are you?
I don't know whether that was a good thing or a bad thing, so I'm a bit nervous.
No, very relaxed. You'll be right.
You'll be right, mate. Well, we've got an intro that we haven't actually put on for a while. We'll let you hear it, and you can try and tell us who you think it is that's singing this one.
Yo, it's Crow coming at you with the plow. It's Kick-Ons with Cam and Plug. Yeah, let's go! Woo! Woo, woo, woo!
That's one of the players from the team.
Who's a guess?
Who do you think could do something like that? A younger fella.
It'll be Kai Lowe.
Yeah,
well
that
done.
is Kai. Oh, no, anyway, mate, so we just come off the bye. How was your couple of days off and what'd you get up to?
It was pretty good. Urs and I on Thursday headed up to Noosa. So we had Thursday, Friday, Saturday night up there and just pretty much took it easy. Just walked a lot. And
Be on the beach or?
Yeah, we're on pretty close. Little cove there, just that beach just around from the main beach in Noosa. And, we just did plenty of walks and plenty of sleeps. And
Chilled out. Beautiful.
Ate some good food at a few restaurants. That was about it.
That's good.
No, not too much. Had a good mate up from back home, so spent some time with him. Had Lockie's 30th as well, which was good.
Fun.
But
I didn't get an invite to that. What's that?
Players only there. That was good though. And then just took it easy, refreshed mentally. Looking forward to the Hawks on Saturday.
Yeah, it will be good, and we'll just talk about the season so far. We've spoken about it a little bit, but Fags, be good to see what your thoughts have been. I know we spoke about it a little bit yesterday about the season so far and, how you've been tracking, but how have you found it?
The short summary would be outside of round one, we've had a really consistent year. We've since that point in time, we've won 8, lost 2, and those 2 losses have been narrow. And in both games, we had more shots on goal than the opposition. So in a competition that's as tough as this, that's a pretty good 10-week spell. We're disappointed with round one. We can never get that back. But we've certainly done a lot of good work since then to sort of redeem ourselves, and we've put ourselves in a good position, I reckon, with about the halfway mark of the season, 12 to play. We've put ourselves within striking distance of the top 2, and that's what we're going to try and get to.
Yep, absolutely. Are there any individuals that you've really enjoyed seeing improvement out of that spring to mind?
Well, I suppose the one that springs to mind is our aeroplane watching fullback.
So we have seen a bit.
Yeah, so I gave it away, didn't I? His improvement, Jack Payne I'm talking about, obviously, has been outstanding. And he's not only have we noticed it, but the whole competition's noticed it. His ability to intercept, mark and spoil and play on some of the best forwards in the competition. It's great to see. I think he's been at the club now for 5 years.
6,
maybe his 6th season.
Yeah.
So it's about time he did something.
Takes a while for the big boys. They get
it. Take a bit longer.
We look at them, we think they should be able to play straight away, but for some reason or other, they just take a little bit longer.
Especially when Payne come in, he looked like a 35-year-old that's been...
Yeah, he looked like he was ready to go. He wasn't like Big O, right?
He was a very hairy man for an and he had this big chest to go, he doesn't actually need to do weight. This bloke.
Check the birth certificate, I reckon.
Really old and big. But it's good to see his growth and development. And obviously, some of the guys that we've got in as new recruits. Josh Dunkley's made an enormous difference in our midfield, just with his defensive play, and he's a real trademark sort of player, and he sets an example in that regard. So his impact's been huge.
I think it's probably, we've spoken about it a little bit as well, but Gunners having Hodgie and Birch come in and then they go to the back line and being able to teach that group. I think Gunners coming in, come to the forward line and being able to do the same thing's been awesome as well.
Yes, and I knew that he'd be able to do that before he came here. He's a real good thinker on the game. He's always played football with a high level of intelligence and he gets it. So, it is good that he's been able to have that positive influence. He probably would have liked to have had a bit more influence on the field at the moment, knowing him, because he has really high standards. But he and our supporters can't underestimate the difference he's made with all the other boys up there.
definitely. And you'd be happy with the VFL boys and how they're tracking. Obviously, Hutto's taken over this year. But yeah, they're performing really well, and there's some young guys that are going well in that group as well.
Yeah, well, I think Hutto's probably coming after my job pretty soon. He's undefeated.
That's floating around. He's coming up.
Zane Littlejohn this week.
He's got a little bit of headball going on at the moment. Very, very happy with himself. Yes, and the big clash with one of our ex-coaches, Zane Littlejohn. So that'll add a bit more spice to the game at sunny Box Hill next Saturday.
At your old stomping grounds, Box Hill, isn't it, Fags?
Yeah, no, I've been to many football games in Box Hill when I'm in my days at the Hawks. But no, the reserves are going really well. We've been a bit fortunate. We haven't had too many injuries, which helps. That's what I always say to Hutto when he gets a bit carried away with himself. Mate, it's just player availability. It's got nothing to do with your coaching prowess. But no, there's a lot of boys in the reserves putting pressure on the senior team, and quite a few of them will probably be playing at other clubs if they were there. But our form's been pretty solid at AFL level, so it's been difficult to make a lot of changes.
Yeah, and then coming up to this week, obviously back at the MCG, first time since the final last year. We're looking forward to it. It's been good to play there a little bit more last year and getting the chance this year. And a little bit about that, Huey. What do you think this week against Hawks? They we were talking about it this morning. Had a good game against the Saints a few weeks ago, and have probably started to play a little bit more consistent footy in the last few weeks. Yeah, definitely. I think they're a really dangerous team. But I think for us, it's just great that we get the opportunity to play at the MCG. We probably only get one or two a year, and it's the place you want to play. I think it's my favourite venue to play at. Yeah. It's wide and it's open. So hopefully, we can perform well again against them. And we've got a really big block. I think the next week we've got Sydney, and we can talk a little bit about that. We've partnered with Fight MND. In an effort to beat the beast, as it says here. So Big Freeze will be at the Gabba when we play against the Swans. I know, Fags, that's really close to your heart. Yeah, it is. Obviously, worked for 10 years with Neil Danaher at Melbourne, so we're great friends, and I've always been a big supporter of the Big Freeze. I've actually gone down the slide. We have to touch on it. We'll have to bring it up. Don't you worry about it. Quite a famous event, that one, actually. I'm the only player, the only person ever to go down the slide that's been carted off in an ambulance afterwards with the hamstring completely detached from the bone. Bit unlucky, but at least it gave the Big Freeze a few more days of publicity as people. All publicity is good publicity. To check out about how I recovered from it. You tried to keep a straight face at the end of that. Be serious. That was the amount of pain after you jumped out of the ice bath through the roof. It did hurt. Yeah. I knew straight away what I'd done because I heard this enormous pop and I thought, that doesn't feel too good. Then I tried to walk and I thought, I can't walk. Hamish McLaughlin was trying to get me over for an interview and I'm thinking, I can't get there. I got there and he interviewed me. I was in a bit of pain. I was feeling a little bit, feeling like I was going to pass out. You were frozen. I thought, I'm going to pass out on national television. But fortunately, I stayed awake and then I had to get driven back to the change rooms that we're using on the back of that buggy that comes out when a player does a bad injury and has to go off on the street. So did you go past all the people in the crowd on the back of the buggy? The back of the MCG and everyone laughing at me. So I remember I stayed down in Melbourne because I had to get operated on that week. And I think I got operated on about Thursday or the Wednesday, and so I'm out at Box Hill at my house out there, and I'm thinking I'm going to go and watch a game because I was getting sick of myself. So I went to the footy at Marvel Stadium. I think I watched Fremantle and Carlton because I think we were playing Fremantle after the break. Yeah, and I should have gone on the footy. I was okay. I could limp to wherever I went to, but every man and his dog knew what happened, so they all stirring me up. I'm walking up the ramp, and good on you, Fagan. You idiot, Fagan. So no, that was a memorable occasion. But I love Neil Danaher. He gave me my first job in AFL footy as coaching Melbourne Reserves way back in 1998, and we've been very, very close friends ever since. It was a really sad day when I found out that he had MND. I didn't actually know what MND was about it, so I did a lot of Googling that day and I realised that there's no coming back from it at the moment. And that's what Neil's dedicated his life to now, is raising money, A, to get more awareness, and B, to find a cure. Yeah. And so all the things that we've been able to do in the AFL over the last 8 or 9 years
has been sensational, and they've raised millions and millions of dollars, which is an incredible effort. And he's got some accolades that he deserves, I think, for what he's done. And I'm really glad that our club has been able to jump on board for the Sydney game and become a part of it, which we haven't been able to do before. The boys have been great. I've always got some beanies up here, and you've always bought them. But for the club to be doing something as well in the Sydney game is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. And the beanies up the front here looking really, really good. You can buy one of them from Coles or from Bunnings as well. All the boys have jumped on board. So we look forward to that round against Sydney.
We'll quickly go to ad break phase. We've got a nice little player profile that me and Hughie have dug up somewhere that we'll go through after this.
After this.
A nice little quiz versus Hughie as well about Tasmanian AFL footy, so we'll see how we go on that.
Righto.
Hey Lions fans, we've got some exciting news to share with you. Our official healthy hearing partner, Audira, has a limited time offer on all A01 headphones purchased before June 30.
These headphones are a total game changer. Don't miss a beat during our podcast or any game day action with a sound tailored to your unique hearing profile.
And the best part is, for a limited time only, you receive a free TV transceiver worth $150 with any pair of A01 headphones.
That means you can Bluetooth connect your headphones to TV or in-flight entertainment for your completely personalised audio. Visit Audira.com before June 30 and discover the joy of personalised sound.
Friday night lights at the Gabba. Your Lions will not be swanning around when they take on Sydney. Friday, 16th of June from 6:30pm. Tickets are selling fast. Secure your seat at lions.com.au.
Welcome back to Kick-Ons with Cam and Clug, and we've got Fags on this week, which has been good fun so far, and we've got a little bit of a player profile to roll here through Fags. So we'll start this one off. I know it's not the first off the top, but Sergio as a nickname. Where's Sergio come from?
What are you talking about?
Is that actually where it was from?
No. Just thought I'd throw a little bit of Italian in there for you. The team I played for at that time that you read that from was a team called Devonport, and we had the same colours as Carlton.
The Mitsubishi
and
Blues.
I wore number 1, I think.
Okay.
And I had, at that time, flat top haircuts were the thing. And
something similar to this.
No, not that way.
You're talking a bit higher up.
I think Stephen Silvani was playing for
the Blues,
and his dad was Sergio. And Sergio used to wear number 1 for Carlton. So, what football clubs are like. They always try to give you a nickname. Actually, I was quite happy to change it because my nickname prior to that was Junior, which I'd had since I started playing senior footy in Tassie when I was 16, so I was the youngest person in the team.
Yep.
So they called me Junior, and it stuck. So I was quite happy at the age of 28, I think I might have been then, to get a name change. So I was pretty happy with Sergio.
We've got Sergio and Vince there as well. Vince is a good one.
There was a comedian around then. I don't know whether he's still around. Vince Sorrento.
Know him?
I reckon if you look him up, he was a comedian at one stage, and he had a flat top haircut.
So the flat top.
It was either Vince or Sergio.
172 centimetres and 70 kilos. How'd you go running around 70 kilos playing footy against some of the other big blokes?
I was just used to it. I'd beat, I think when I played my first senior game when I was 16, I might have been lucky to be 60 kilos. So I was very good at getting out of the way, I think I would say. And I might have been a little bit heavier than 70 kilos. So that might have been a bit of rubbish. But I wish I could say I was taller than 172. I thought I was going to grow, but I didn't.
Never come.
Give us a player comparison, modern day player comparison, because I think I've heard a big screen. I'll let you go first, and then I'll let you know what.
Because we've heard something here, and we're going to follow up with you after you say this. So,
well, I was sort of like a goal kicking rover.
Yeah.
A modern day player. I wouldn't want to compare myself to anyone who plays these days. I was nowhere in the same category as some of these guys.
That's not what I've heard. It's a bit of big screen vision.
Spit it out, Hugh. I was going to say Lockie.
We've heard you say on record, Dane Zorko cross humour cluggage. That would have been some sort of.
That's somewhere near the mark, I suppose. Probably a little bit better than both of you.
Well, 430 goals. two-time premiership player and Tassie Hall of Fame member would indicate that might be the case.
Well, I didn't play AFL footy, Huey. The closest I got to that was playing a game against the VFL, a rep game at North Hobart Oval in front of, I think must have been 25,000 people there. We're in front at half-time. Thought we were going pretty well.
Yeah.
Lost by 100.
No way.
Yeah.
Well, they just came out and blew you out in the water.
We ran out of gas, I think. I think they were just playing with us in the first half to keep the locals interested. But I was 19 at the time. It was a fantastic experience because there were guys playing for the VFL like Dale Waitman, Stevie Wright, some really big names at the time. Barry Round was playing up forward.
So
he tackled me once and fell on me and nearly killed me by 70 kilos. He was about 120. But it was a great experience. And footy in Tassie during that time was really quite strong. It's not so much anymore, but we'd play a series against Queensland, New South Wales, ACT, and more often than not, we'd win that series. Well. So yeah, it was good fun. It was pretty high profile sport in Tassie at the time.
What would you say is your favourite memory from playing football? I know you have a lot of memories coaching football so far as well, but what would be your favourite, say, playing?
Yeah, so I guess it's always the premierships that you play in. So I played in one when I was a 19-year-old with Hobart. They were the Tigers. And then I played in another one for Devonport, the profile that you're reading off at the moment.
Blues.
And that was in 1988. And that was when it was truly a statewide league. So, those premierships were for a highlight. I think I might have played a dozen or so games for Tassie. So all those games when you represent your state.
Pretty cool.
Are pretty good fun. And I suppose the one game I can remember that I loved, and I sound like I'm bragging here.
No, this is what it's for.
I kicked 8 goals. Had 30 on. But it was just like, one of those days when you play footy and just everything just goes right and you're not even thinking, it's just happening.
Rolling for you.
It was one of those days and I can still remember it. The thing that annoyed me the most, at the William Leach Medal, which is sort of like the equivalent of the Brownlow in Tassie that year, the bloke who was playing on me that day, right, I seriously had 30 plus
kicked
and
8
kicked 8. He got the 3 votes. And I thought, everything they say about umpires is right.
They've got to get shut. No, that's good. We've got what's this one here? Favourite drink? You can beat an egg, but you can't beat a cup of tea. How old are you here saying that?
Oh, how old am I there?
What have we got here?
What year was it? I did that. Well, that would have been 1988, so I was born in 61, so I'd have been 27.
Yeah.
I liked a cup of tea.
That's all, nothing wrong with that,
I've
mate.
always
I just
loved
love
a cup of tea.
What else have we got on here?
Trouble is I like a biscuit with it.
That's where it always gets you.
We've got down here football ambition, hopefully contribute to the long-term success of DFC and after that coach a TFL team if the opportunity arose. So you always had coaching in your mind as something you wanted to do down the track?
Yes, I did. It was an interesting thing. Like my dad was a coach in local footy on the West Coast, so I used to, forever when I was a kid, I used to go to training with him and just hang around. And I sort of loved what he did, and the players used to come to our place for dinner, and there was just this good mateship and thing that they had. So I think it started there. I became a teacher, so it's pretty close to coaching. And as a primary school teacher, you get to coach the school team. So I did that for a lot of years at the schools that I coached at, and it just built a love for coaching. And the teams I played at, I started to look after the development squads there and bring the young players through. And I guess it was just a natural progression to move into that. Funnily enough, at the time, I didn't think that I'd get the opportunity to even coach in Tassie, because what was happening is a lot of guys that were playing VFL/AFL footy then were sort of retiring and coming down to Tassie to be playing coaches. So it was a little bit hard as a local to get a gig. So in the end, the only way I could get a gig was to coach the side that had been on the bottom of the ladder for the last 3 years. Nobody wanted to coach, and they didn't have any money, so they couldn't pay a lot.
So you were just doing it for love it.
Sort of, yeah. It was my old team that I played for prior to Devonport, which was Sandy Bay. So I took on the job for a very small amount of money. I figured the only way this team could go was up, because I hadn't won a game for 2 years. And I think in my first year we might have won 5 or 6 games and became a little bit competitive. And then second year we got to a prelim and got knocked out. And then Tassie got a team in the TAC Cup called the Tassie Mariners, and I thought, here's a chance to go full time into coaching and be the state director of coaching. And I didn't know whether I'd get the job or not, but I did, and that opened up another world for me. And I did that for 4 years, and then I ended up at somewhere or other at Melbourne Footy Club as the reserves coach. So it's sort of just from there, it's funny how it all sort of happened because I didn't coach the Tassie Mariners thinking it was going to be a step to the AFL. Yeah, but it was, and I never ever thought I'd be an AFL senior coach, and I certainly didn't think I would be when I was the general manager of footy at Hawthorn, which is not coaching. For the 3 years prior to coming here, but I did a lot of assistant coaching and stuff in the meantime. And yes, someone might have mentioned to Swanee that I might not have been a bad bloke to coach the Lions, and he rang me up and asked me was I a coach or a footy manager, and I thought, I think as a footy manager I'll make a good coach. So they interviewed me, and I ended up with the job here. So it's been an amazing sort of journey, I suppose you could call it, full of surprises. Didn't think I'd ever end up as an AFL coach. It wasn't even an ambition. I didn't think it was possible, given that I didn't play AFL footy. So,
and coach of the year might add as well on top of that.
Yeah, in 2019, I wasn't going to talk about that. No, none of those things I expected, and therefore I enjoy every day that I do it because I don't take it for granted. It's not something I thought I'd do. So I've got to make the most of it.
No, beautiful, mate. We'll touch on one more thing before we go to the quiz, because Huey's going to have a crack at you on the quiz, which will be interesting. But since you've been up at Brisbane, obviously we've had ups and downs, and we've had some awesome wins, and we've had times where we've gone down. But what would you say had been your favourite game since we've been up here coaching? Would you say last year in the finals, or?
There's two games. Our first finals win against Richmond at the Gabba, and we'd been pretty competitive in finals. The first year we went down by a point to the bloody Giants, and then we played Richmond, had more shots and lost by 40 points, and they won the flag that year. So and that was our first year in finals. So I was pretty happy with that. And we had a really good year and knocked off Richmond in the first final. Unfortunately, Geelong got us in the prelim, but that was so exciting to win our first final together with a really young group against a very good team who went on to win the premiership.
That year again,
so that one, and then I think the win against Melbourne last year at the MCG, I mean, nobody gave us a chance at all. We were behind at half time. Here we kicked a goal on the run in the third quarter.
Yeah, third quarter.
Got us all excited.
Yeah.
You did that amazing spoil.
That's right.
Made me think we could probably play in the back line. So I tried to experiment this year. Not one of my best birds. Oh, no, you're not bad back there.
He's all right. Come on.
But they are the two games. I mean, Melbourne were a red-hot side. They were very, very hard to beat at the MCG. We hadn't won at the MCG for 10 years. And there it was. The siren went, and finally
Unbelievable
we'd
feeling,
beaten the Hoodoo, and we'd beaten the Demons, and we're into a prelim.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it didn't end well last year, but that gives us great hope going forward, I reckon.
100%. Yep. All right, Huey, this is your chance for redemption, mate. We're going to get into this quiz. You've Huey, so we've had about, is it 6 times? Huey's played with 6 different people on this quiz and never won one.
Is that a setup? Is that
No. So we're finally giving him another chance.
The odds are in your favour, and it's Tassie as well.
Yeah, there's a couple of questions about Tassie. There's some question.
Geographical questions or football questions?
One's a football, one's a geographical. So
there's only 2 questions.
Oh no, there's 5 questions.
Oh, 5.
So there's a little bit of everything. So the way we play, Fags, if your buzzer is your name. So if you know the answer,
Serge.
Okay,
so that's his buzzer, Serge. All right. This one's a little bit off topic anyway, but you'll be all right. The songs Don't Dream It's Over and Better Be Home Soon are sung by which band?
Clug.
Serge.
Crowded House.
There we go. Wow. Yes. Okay. What year was the first Big Freeze game?
Ooh. I reckon 2014.
Close.
Clug. 2013.
No.
15.
There we go. Serge comes back 1-1.
1-1.
I knew it was one of those years.
What is the capital city of Tasmania? He got it out there. What is it?
Hobart.
Yes, there we go. 2-1.
Too quick.
Which AFL team's theme song is to the tune of the French national anthem?
Clug, Brisbane
Yes.
Lions.
Yes, we go. All right, this is the last question. It's the decider.
Come on.
North Melbourne played their first game at Blundstone Arena in 2012. Who was it against?
Clug. Fremantle.
No. Anything. 2012 is a new team that's come in.
GWS.
Thanks.
Come on. You've just handed it to him on a platter.
I could have said Gold Coast.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey, I'm happy.
50-50.
Here we go. Huey still hasn't won one, so we're just going to keep setting him up for the rest of the year.
7 coffees.
We got some fan questions to finish off before we go down and get into training. So
I've already covered that
we've
one off.
touched on a couple, but this is an interesting one, Fags. If you had to go on a remote island for 7 days with one player, who do you think it would be?
Jeez.
I think I'd go Reece Matheson, I reckon, because he's he's going to provide you with a little bit of value. He's going to go out and be fishing with his shirt off and a bandana around his head. Who would you go, Fags, do you reckon?
That's a tough question.
Jeez, that's a tough question. Not you two. You wouldn't go with Kyle Lohman.
No, definitely not. What about, would you go take out Darcy Wilmot out there with you for 7 days?
Gee. Imagine Darcy, Matho and Kyle. You wouldn't have to say a word, would you?
No.
And you would just laugh. the whole
You would
time.
laugh. Yeah, it would be fun.
That would be good fun.
Yeah, who would I take? I'd probably take Kellarchi because he can play a bit of guitar.
Yeah, that's
and
not a
sing
bad
some
one.
songs
He's a nice bloke.
he's a good bloke. He's
You wouldn't get
good
too sick of
company.
him, would you?
No, I don't reckon.
Huey,
Nice and
who'd you go?
relaxed. Jeez. Probably Zork.
Yeah.
A bit of fun.
Jeez, he took your head by the end.
Imagine Charlie, he'd want to take his big speaker.
Walk around with a boombox on his shoulder. This is an interesting one, Fags. We know that during the game, your chewy gets a bit of a workout. So what's your go-to flavour for your chewy gum that you use during the game?
I just go to the old standard
Standard.
PK.
Okay.
But this
PK.
bloke, I'll tell you this story. Somebody
That's a
sent
good
me
one.
a present one day, and I opened it. It was like a box of chewing gum. It was this special spearmint chewing gum that you could only get from America.
So they've sent it.
So I put it on my desk and thinking that, that's just about a year's supply there.
Yeah.
It just disappeared. I don't know who was taking it. I think it was Dale Tappy. I'm not sure.
Tabs.
But I reckon the coaches are coming in and pinching.
And grabbing
they
your
pinch
chewy.
my chewies and they pinch my pens. Because I always have good pens and I
good
had good
chewies.
chewies on my desk for a while, but they didn't last for long.
Was that just sent to you like anonymously? Someone
Yeah, I
just
don't know
sent
who
it
the
to you?
bloke was. He goes, you're a man after my own heart. Just it's sort of like this nice letter and a box of chewies. It's from America.
The next question is, do you have a watch that measures your heart rate during the game? And if you did, do you know what the highest it would have been
I
at?
don't reckon my heart rate would go up too much, to be honest.
reckon?
Nah. I mean, I've got an Apple iWatch, so I guess if I want to put it on, it would tell me.
Be
But
interesting to see.
I think I've had one of those things on me during a game.
The one that they click around.
yeah, the proper one. And I don't think it
Wasn't too bad.
varied too much, no.
This is a good one. If you had to have a goal song like we do at the Gabba, what would it be?
Better be home soon.
There we go.
You should have got that. You should have got that
I
one.
know, I couldn't get it out quick enough.
You know why I knew that? I thought Fags was going to get that because when we were in COVID, we used to do, so when COVID started, remember we got put into those groups where we do the Skype calls?
Yeah.
And I remember I was in group with Fags, Steve Knoll, and we had to go through our top 5 songs, and I had that because I was smashing those songs during that time.
Crowded House.
And I'd Crowded House on top, and Fags is like, I didn't know you like that. So I thought he was going to click onto it
Something
straight away,
common.
but
Well, it's a great sing-along tune, you know.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's one of those anthem songs that
Yeah.
everybody would get into.
loves to. That's what I mean. Well, the
Absolutely.
video
It's
about
like
Charlie
Country Road,
yesterday.
isn't it?
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
video
you need
of
something
Charlie.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was an awesome video, wasn't it, yesterday?
Pretty cool.
Yeah. This is an interesting question to finish it off as we've just touched on it, but would you rather be stuck in a room all day with Kai Lohman or Darcy Wilmot?
It's a fan question.
Yeah, this is a fan question.
Is there a toilet? That's an in-joke. Oh, God. Oh, that's tough.
I think I'm going Kai.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Kai's probably... We got them all in the same draft, didn't we?
Yeah, that's
we got Jimmy Tussle, who's a complete opposite of those two. Those maniacs.
You got him as an outlier and you brought those
I'd
two in
probably
together.
go, if you're going to say Kai, I'd go Darcy, but geez, it'd be hard work.
You'd have a laugh, but
Who are
it'd
you
be hard
going?
work.
You go Kai, you go
gee,
Darcy.
Much of muchness. I'll pick Greg.
Yeah. No, well, thanks, Fags. Thanks for jumping on, mate. I know the fans will appreciate it. If you haven't got your beanie, make sure you go and get one for the next couple of weeks. And, it's an awesome cause, and the most money we can donate to it, the better. So thanks to Adira for the podcast, and thanks very much for jumping on, mate.
Thanks,
Fags.
No worries.